Most owners of consultancy firms get to the point where they realize that to grow their firm further, they have to go beyond reliance on referrals for new client acquisition. And when it comes to that point, there's a realization that you need to do marketing to generate new leads and new clients for your business. Now, typically what happens, though, is the consultant or the owner of the consultancy firm tries to do marketing, and typically they try to do marketing in the way that they've seen it done by other people. And unfortunately, what tends to happen is that they hardly get any new leads. And if they do get any clients, they're usually low level. The leads aren't good quality. The clients aren't great quality. And they come to the conclusion that marketing just doesn't work for consultancy firms. And while that's true to an extent, I've seen that the typical marketing doesn't work for consultancy firms because people jump into operating tactically instead of strategically. And when you operate at a strategic level, you can develop marketing that really works. So in this video, I'm going to show you the strategic approach to marketing and how to create a 5-step marketing system based on strategic authority. And when you position your firm as the authority in the market, you have a way of attracting clients consistently and predictably instead of operating with random acts of marketing that don't get you the best results. So typically what we see for most consultancy firms that I've seen is when they approach marketing, they just jump straight into using platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook or other social media opportunities. And they will start posting content on LinkedIn without really having a plan. There's no real direction, no focus, no real unified message to attract premium level clients. What we see typically is that they fall into a trap of posting content about their services. They'll look at what they do and offer those services to readers or viewers or whoever it is that's engaging with content. And typically that type of content is irrelevant to most people, so it doesn't get any real attraction. Another fault is that they pick and choose different items, or maybe they'll talk about different things in the environment or in the news or whatever's relevant or topical, but it's not delivering a consistent message to the potential clients that they're looking to attract. Another problem is that they'll go into marketing without a real target as to who their ideal clients are. And because most consultants are pretty good at what they do and they can offer a lot of value to a lot of different types of people, so when that happens, when you make the mistake of trying to offer too much to too many, you end up selling very little to very few. And the reason for that is that unless your communication, unless you are able to articulate very clearly who this is for and address their specific challenges in a way that they understand, in the words that they use, in the way that they understand the problem that you're talking about, you don't connect adequately with those people to be able to attract them. When your words are generic, when you offer platitudes like I've seen so many people do, when they're approaching marketing, when they're talking about things in general terms and very broad-based ways of improving results, it doesn't cut through in a way that gets the attention of your target market. And that is a big mistake in marketing, because unless you get that real deep level emotional cut through, you won't attract your target market. People aren't really interested in your services. Right? I hate to break the news, but people don't want your services. What your best clients want, however, is the result of your services. They want the outcomes. They want the solution to their problems. So they're not interested in your services. When you tell them what you do and how you do it even, it just doesn't really get the cut through that you're looking for, because they're not interested in that. What they want to know is, do you understand what I'm going through? As a potential client, do you really understand my problems and how I feel about that? Do you understand the pain I'm going through because I'm suffering from this problem I can't solve? Now, most people, most owners of businesses, if you're in a B2B market, most people if you're in a B2C market, who are suffering from the pain that you can alleviate from them, want you to have a solution for them. However, when they don't get the message that you really understand what they're going through, there's an immediate turn off. They will put up barriers to what you tell them about how great you are and how much experience you've had in delivering the types of services, because there's a disconnect between what they understand and what you see as a solution. People do not see solutions or see services as solutions. They look at outcomes that are being delivered as a solution. So when you tell people about your services, there's a big disconnect that will get you shut down, and they'll move on to somewhere else. So when this happens, what tends to occur is that you get lumped into this commoditized mass of consultants that offer the same types of work as you do. And if you look at the websites of your competitors, I pretty much guarantee that what they're saying about the services they offer are pretty much similar to what you're saying about your services. So when your potential clients look at this and they try to find who's the best consultant we can use to solve our problem, and they see commoditized services being offered, how do they choose? Now, you've got to go beyond the norm. And this is where most consultants have not done the strategic work they need to do to think about, first of all, who is their best client? Who's the best type of client that they can be approaching, because that type of client is able to, or enables them to deliver their best work and their best results. So what is the best client that you can work with? What are the solutions that you can deliver to that client? How is your approach different from the other competitors in your market? When you identify these things, you have an approach that can get traction in the market. Now, if what I'm saying to you is resonating in any way at all, what I'd love you to do is hit the like button or put a comment below, just so that I know that I'm attracting the right people to this message. So if that's you, hit the like button or put a comment in, say, yeah, hitting the mark, and I'll know that I can continue to deliver more of this type of content. If you want to go further quickly, also look in the description below for some free training and some content there that will be very useful to you to accelerate your results in this area. So you can opt in for that. You can take the mini course that I'm offering and get a jump start to build a strategic approach to your marketing, because that's what we're really talking about here. And the difference between the consultants that are not getting traction with their marketing, who are operating tactically, just jumping in and throwing out random acts of marketing without really thinking about an overarching strategy to create strategic authority positioning in the market. So when you're a commodity, you look the same as everyone else. To stand out, you've got to be strategically developing authority positioning, because people want to deal with the authorities in the market. They want to deal with a thought leader in the market. They want to deal with the person who has a trusted, proven approach to solving their specific problem. So when you stand out as having that solution to their problem, and everyone else is offering services that don't really connect, then you become the number one choice. So when you do the thinking about creating a strategy around that, you really have the opportunity to stand out and be the accepted authority in your market. So having a strategy, first of all, gives you direction. It gives you a target, gives you a focus. When you first of all identify who is the best client for you, you can then find them in a lot of cases by searching for them on LinkedIn. Is a great platform for being able to find your specific target market, but you can also find them in other areas as well. You can create specific lists of clients, and this is what I've done in each of my 3 consultancy practices before that I was able to successfully grow and sell, and exactly what I'm doing in this practice. Identifying who are my premium clients and making sure that my marketing is talking directly to them. Now, let me take a step back here. And I mentioned before that the typical type of marketing that most consultants do is based on what they've seen in the market. And what we see in the market generally is what I call seduction marketing. It is, here's what I've got, here's how to get it. If you want it, come and get it now. It's really very much on a transactional level. It's based on the sort of marketing that we see, which sells products. And there are some very successful marketers out there who are great at selling products and marketing that way. But as you may have found, and as I said before, most consultants who try to market that way using seduction marketing end up coming to the conclusion that marketing just doesn't work for consultancy firms. But what I found is that seduction marketing doesn't work, but there's a different approach to take when you operate at a strategic level, when you're trying to attract your premium level clients. And that approach is what I call courtship style marketing. Now, there's an obvious difference in comparison between seduction and courtship. Seduction is really around immediacy. It's around quick results, short-term satisfaction, whereas courtship is about long-term relationships and having mutually beneficial long-term relationships. So isn't that what you want with your premium level clients? Don't you want long-term relationships with clients who are going to be great to work with, and there's a mutually beneficial relationship over the long term? To achieve that type of relationship, you can't rush in and bully people. You can't use pressure selling tactics. You can't use seduction marketing. You need to use what I call courtship style marketing. And courtship style marketing is really just based on normal human relationship building principles. Respect, trust, building trust in the relationship first before you ask for anything. So building a system around that, building a strategy around courtship style marketing is what I've used and what I recommend for my clients and what they're using successfully to attract premium level clients consistently and predictably. So to do courtship style marketing, there are a number of steps you need to put in place. And to do that, just like any relationship building process, the first step is to be able to enter the conversation with the person that you're wanting to attract. So consider just like at a party where you find someone attractive and you want to engage with them, you start to enter the conversation that they're involved in. You don't barge up to them and say, hey, look at me, look at me. I've got this to offer. I'm great at this. I'm good. I'm really the sort of person you need to get to know. That sort of approach is seduction style marketing. It's the sort of marketing that gets you shut down pretty quickly in a relationship building situation, as you can understand. So to enter the conversation with grace and poise and with noticeability, and people notice people who care more about them than they care about themselves. And that is the same approach that we need to take in our courtship marketing approach. We don't want to go into that relationship starting off by telling people how great we are and what we've got to offer. We want to go in and be on a level of asking about them, or at least showing that we understand them and offering them valuable information that is helpful to them. And when we can show that we understand their situation and that we care about them in the way that we approach them, they will want to know more, just like in any normal human relationship situation. When they feel understood and cared for, people want more of that because it's so rare to start off with. But when they can see that you've got that to offer, they will want to know more. And particularly if there's something that you say that attracts them around their problem, and that they identify that, well, you seem to know a fair bit about this. The reaction you want to invoke at that point is, I wonder what else they've got to say. I wonder what else they've got to say. And so they want to take it to the next level. They will want to enroll in ongoing communication with you as step 2. They want to take that step, and in a normal relationship situation, maybe that's getting their phone number so that you can call them and take their relationship to the next level. In many marketing situations these days, it's about getting their email address, maybe their name and email address, so that you can follow up with them and continue to deliver value to them. Ultimately, you want to get to know them and you want them to get to know you. And so you want to be educating them about what you have to offer, and doing that in a way that is not selling to them, but in demonstrating your understanding and your expertise, particularly about the solution to their problem. And again, you want to be educating them in a way that you're building a trust factor into that process. Anytime you try to put pressure, or anytime you try to sell yourself, you actually create resistance, because that client feels pressure from your sales approach. So we want to remove any approach about selling ourselves and just offer value that educates them about the solution that we have to offer. Because when they buy your solution, then they will buy you. If we try to sell ourselves and we try to sell our services, we actually create resistance and a factor that pushes us, or that induces them to push us away and not want to go further. So we want to eliminate friction, we want to eliminate resistance from that process, and have them wanting to know more. At each stage, if we offer them value so that they want to know more from us, that relationship will continue. And like in any courtship situation, there's an inevitable conclusion if someone doesn't do something wrong. And typically that is trying to jump too many steps ahead too quickly. And when that happens, relationships break down. So we've got to be careful not to be doing that in our marketing situation, in a courtship marketing, we don't want to be jumping too many steps and putting pressure on people to take steps that they're not ready for. But we want to draw people inexorably towards us so that they want to take the next step with us. And we need to be able to offer that when they're ready. We need to then entice them into a situation where they want to take it to the next level with us, where they want to see about how do they get, or how do they make a commitment to us in a way that helps them solve their problem. And at that point, we can engage them in our services. But until that point, they're not ready for us to be selling to them. We need to really entice them through our value delivery and through building trust so that they're ready to engage us in having their problem solved through our services. So they're the 5 steps that I promised to tell you about in delivering strategic authority marketing, and being able to systemize that through each of those 5 steps, through entering the conversation, enrolling them in ongoing communication, educating, enticing, and engaging. When we can systematically build those steps into our marketing, we create an approach that we can use to create consistent, predictable client acquisition. Unless we use that approach, if we're just doing random acts of marketing, we're creating chaos, we're creating low quality leads that take time, we're creating proposals that never come through. There's a whole lot of negative impacts of not doing this properly and wasted time and effort. We don't have time to waste in our consulting business. So everything we do needs to be leveraged. We need to be able to make sure that what we do gets results. So don't waste time with random acts of tactical marketing, but do take the time to develop strategic authority marketing and to systemize that approach to attract your premium level clients. If you've enjoyed this, then I think you'll enjoy the next lesson where I go through some specific results. So click the link here to learn some specific approaches that my clients and I have used to build strategic authority marketing systems that deliver clients consistently and predictably, and in some cases have allowed my clients to double their sales results within 12 months. I look forward to seeing you in that video.